Coming up on Small Town Big Deal.
Woo! More cherries than you've ever seen.
It's raining cherries.
What to do with them?
Swallow, don't chew.
Make a pie.
And then,
And we're off to one small South Carolina town with a lot of buzz. Welcome to Small Town Big Deal. I'm Rodney Miller.
And I'm Jan Carl. We are in Traverse City, Michigan.
Population about 14,000.
And a lot of people would say it is the sweet spot of the state because of these little babies right here.
those little babies, they're cherries. And in this small town, they're a real big deal. They put Traverse City on the map.
So this is our first Traverse City cherry.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love cherries.
Dean is a cherry connoisseur. The National Cherry Festival is held every year in Traverse City, which is about 4 hours northwest of Detroit. You could say that life here is much more than a bowl of cherries. It's jars and bottles, too. Cherry smoothie? That little red fruit can be found in just about everything.
Rodney, cherry sprinkles.
Cherry pie in a bottle.
If you like sweet, there's cherry honey mustard, cherry almond preserves, cherry pepper jam, and cherry fudge sauce, both chocolate and vanilla.
They were both really awesome.
And if you prefer salty, there's cherry salsa, cherry barbecue sauce, and what was I eating at the top of the show? My personal favorite, cherry barbecue potato chips. So the National Festival, it celebrates cherries because this is like the top tart producing place in the world, or what?
It is, yeah. We produce over 75% of the nation's tart cherry crop. Wow. A lot of that's produced right here in northern Michigan. We're very proud of that, not only growing, producing, and delivering cherries to the rest of the world.
Now, if you live here and you don't like cherries, can you not admit it?
Not the week of Cherry Festival. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, those are fighting words.
On the Midway, with all the rides and definitely lots of food, it may look like a typical small town fair. But Traverse City is not your typical small town.
Roddy and I have been to festivals in so many different states, but we've never been to one that had a day set aside just for these kids who are very special. Oh man, a sticker?
Here you go, young
man. Now you're an official Traverse City Police junior officer.
A day is set aside for children with special needs, like 9-year-old Brady Pletcher, born with cerebral palsy. For the kids and their families, it's all free. It's indeed a real gift.
Had a bad day yesterday. We were home and, I think he was just wanting to do something, and so told him about today. He was charged up the whole ride here.
What do you think, Brady?
That's really kind of one of the most challenging things, really, is getting something where your whole family can have fun.
Oh, look at him. He's excited. You guys have a special time just for kids with special needs. How did that start?
We've got a great partner in Arnold Amusement who does the carnival rides, and they actually open it up exclusively for those families. Honestly, we've been doing it for probably 30 years.
Wow,
yeah.
That's cool. The first Cherry Festival was held in 1925 to bring tourists to town. And boy, did it work. 500,000 people now join the celebration each year.
And with a lot of cherries and a lot of pies, and a lot of pies in a pie-eating contest. Should we enter? Do you know me?
This has got to be heaven for Jan. I mean, cherry pie eating contest? Doesn't get any better than that for her.
These folks are good. They aren't even stopping to breathe.
Joining the competition, Jan Carl and Rodney Miller from Small Town Big Deal. Rules are, can't use your hands.
This is gonna be funny.
So does your mouth.
Now, I think Rodney's gonna win because even though I love cherry pie, he eats so fast. He says because he had 3 brothers, and if he didn't eat fast, he never would have gotten to eat it all.
3, 2, 1, go!
Swallow, don't chew!
Okay, we got a winner.
I couldn't get my crust up, which is exactly what I thought I was going to have trouble with.
Yep, I got my crust up, but I just couldn't swallow it all fast enough.
Can I take this home anyway? We are official participants. Oh, not winners, participants in the cherry pie eating contest.
Hey, I'm framing this.
But there's one big problem with eating lots of cherries, and it's the pits. We just have to beat the day's top spit, but that's 54 feet.
Yikes, I'll be lucky to get it 3 feet.
But the world record? Well, that's 93 feet, 6.5 inches, set back in 2003 in Eau Claire, Michigan. Oh my goodness.
24 feet.
Yeah!
Well, I'll never beat Jan. She had a good one.
Go, Rodney!
28-2.
Yeah!
Good job!
And coming up,
It's raining cherries.
we're shaking things up out on the farm as we meet the farmers who bring cherries from Traverse City to your table.
The only thing left to do is to try some cherry pie.
Oh, I thought you would never say it.
Welcome back to Small Town Big Deal.
We are in the cherry capital of the world. Not just the U.S., but of the world, Traverse City, Michigan.
And we're standing in the middle of thousands of acres of cherries.
So it's easy to see how they got that title. You want one?
Hey, sure.
So why so many cherries here? Turns out this region is the perfect place to grow the tart Montmorency cherry, and they've been farming them here since the 1800s. Today, much of that crop grows right here on Don Gregory's Cherry Bay Orchards.
Can we go to the orchard?
Yep, we can do that. Let's jump in Old Frank here. And
Oh.
we'll
Oh,
head
that's
out.
his name? Old Frank?
We're going to call him Old Frank.
Don is driven by cherries. With his brother and 2 friends, he developed Shoreline Fruit, a company that dominates the tart cherry market. It can produce 28 million pounds of them each year, so I'm sure he won't miss a few.
Are you trying to grab a cherry?
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah? What's the best thing about being a cherry farmer?
Just being out amongst Mother Nature. We think of having 13 months in a year, the regular 12 months, and we have cherry month. If you get a fun harvest season where the weather cooperates, you know, it's just a great time of the year. We think, what are the 2 best years we ever had? That one year way back when and next year.
Each tree can yield about 7,000 cherries a year, and for decades, they were all picked by hand.
Think about what a painstaking, time-taking, and patience-testing job that must have been. But things changed in the early 70s, and now there's a whole lot of shaking going on. This is my lucky day. Don asked me to run the tree shaker. Now, I've probably run 1,000 pieces of farm equipment in my life, but this is my first tree shaker.
Hold it for 4 or 5 seconds.
So I'm ready.
Yeah, and then you'll have to give it a little speed gas.
Yeah.
Right?
Woo! Wow. Wow.
It's not how hard you shake the cherry off the tree, but getting it in the right direction.
So it gets it to swing.
Swing, and finally kick it the right way.
Swing high, swing low, sweet cherry-o.
Oh, that's perfect.
Ah! So it seems pretty simple. Grow a tree, shake off the cherries, repeat. However, a change in the weather can destroy your entire harvest.
Back in 2012, we had a warm spell in late February and in March, and we actually did not harvest any cherries that year. We frosted out completely.
In 2012?
2012.
So you lost the entire crop?
Entire crop. I always drove my dad nuts when we got into the cherry farming because growing cherries isn't farming, it's just plain gambling.
The gamble paid off this year.
Over the next 2 weeks, we'll run 2 million pounds a week, and then we ramp up to 3 million pounds a week.
Here at Triple D come the first steps in processing the harvest, cooling the cherries in a cold water bath and then sending them into the pitting machine.
It's fitted into an exact little cup, and then that pushes the pit out?
Correct.
Here come those cherries in a stream that seems endless. And sorting out any bruised fruit or missed pits is now a human job.
If you'd like to try it, you can.
Oh, there's a stem. Whoa!
I'll be back in an hour to grade you.
No time for that. All those cherries have to be packed in 32-pound buckets, covered with syrup and then lots of sugar to prevent spoilage. 500 buckets an hour, 20 hours a day. Come on, Rodney.
You guys are a lot quicker at this than I am. Just 5 minutes wore me out. And can I say Jan wasn't helping me much?
Oh, wait.
Hey, can she do that?
You're doing great.
She's eating and I'm working. Another day at Small Town Big Deal.
I'm working, Rodney. I'm working.
While Jan works, I'll share some fun facts. Cherries were brought to America in the 1600s. 3,020 is the number of cherry trees gifted from Japan in Washington, D.C. The town of Oliver, British Columbia, Canada, holds the record for the largest cherry pie at nearly 40,000 pounds. Oh man, it smells like cherry pie in here. Oh, cool. Next stop is a shoreline invention, the Benster, where the cherries are infused with syrup and water, kind of like a cherry jacuzzi.
I wish the people at home could like smell what we're smelling.
I'm really hungry now.
I just want cherry pie. I like so want cherry pie.
You know, Jan, you sure talk about cherry pie a lot.
I don't think you can talk too much about cherry pie.
You go home at night and you dream of cherries.
You do? I'm gonna go home and dream of cherries because it smells so good.
The one thing that tart cherries have that no other fruit has is there's melatonin in them. For people that have trouble sleeping.
I have slept really good up here, and we've had cherries
every day.
Every day.
That's, you got it.
Really?
And there's one more way that cherries can really calm you down, or in Jan's case, get you really excited.
So it's time for pie, right? It's finally time for pie.
The only thing left to do is to try some cherry pie.
Oh, I thought you would never say it.
Up next, we're off to a small town in South Carolina with some really good vibes.
Welcome back to Small Town Big Deal.
We are in Beaufort, South Carolina, and they are generating quite a buzz around here.
And take note, there's quite a vibe in the air that's also music to the ears. Beaufort is nestled among South Carolina's coastal estuaries and marshes, about 70 miles southwest of Charleston.
With a population of about 13,000, one can quickly become immersed in Beaufort's southern charm.
But just a few miles from its historic downtown is a spot that's guaranteed to make any visitor go,
Listen closely.
You never know when you need to do some spontaneous kazoo playing. We sell fun for a living, and I don't care whether you're 3 years old or you're 85 years old, you give somebody a kazoo, whether they played it before or not, they always get a big smile on their face. It's a fun thing to talk about.
By now, you've probably figured out what people in Beaufort have known for more than 17 years. Stephen Murry is one of a kind.
Stephen is the president and CEO of Kazoobie Kazoos.
That is hard to say, Kazoobie Kazoo.
The 6,500 square foot kazoo production facility is probably the only place on earth where they make the kazoo and celebrate its vibrant history.
I see some pretty old kazoos here. It looks like some old metal ones.
We've been collecting them for years, and they were stacking up in my office on bookshelves, and when we got our new facility here, we thought how cool would it be to put a kazoo museum together.
So in 2007, Stephen opened up the Kazoo Museum. It even features a multimedia presentation.
Groups such as the Beatles, Pink Floyd, the Kinks, and others featured kazoo.
Where and when was the first kazoo invented? Do we know?
Jan, that is an awesome question. That's why I'm so proud to be a kazoo manufacturer, because the kazoo was actually invented in America. It was invented in the 1840s. It's a multicultural instrument, invented by a freed slave who had the idea and the concept for the kazoo. His name was Alabama Vest.
Alabama Vest, who was from Georgia, got together with a German clockmaker who used his technical know-how to build an instrument that looked like a mini tin submarine.
So they called it the Down South Submarine, and we know that in 1852, they exhibited their Down South Submarine at the Georgia State Fair in Macon, Georgia.
That little tin device took the country by storm. By the late 1800s, they started calling the down south submarine a kazoo. Nobody really knows why.
Today, Stephen provides this humble instrument with the showcase he says it deserves.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers, Led Zeppelin, there's been a long history. Oh yeah, Eric Clapton in his Unplugged album used kazoo. It's probably never going to be the lead instrument, you know, like the guitar or the bass.
But never say never around a band like the Carolina Chocolate Drops. Their rockin' rendition of Memphis Shakedown always brings the house down. But for the rest of us, the kazoo can be both musical and mystifying.
I got no clue. This is not working.
I don't get it.
Do you need water to play it?
I don't know how this works.
It's just a matter of humming into it.
Not blowing into it and letting the kazoo do the rest.
Back at Kazoobie Kazoos, Stephen shows off his collection.
This is my Popeye pipe kazoo from 1934.
Oh, and Wimpy.
Yep.
Where's olive oil?
Oh, you know, that's a great question.
Oh my
Where's
gosh.
the female representation?
We've got to have equality here.
I think you guys should create an olive oil kazoo. I'm just saying.
It seems the further into the collection we go, the more eccentric it becomes.
I know you hum into the mouth of the fish and the exhaust comes out of the tail.
Well, I'd definitely rather hum into the mouth, personally, but...
We sell a pile of these every year, and we call it the humbucker electric kazoo. And then anybody can be a rock star. So, Rodney, I know you've always wanted to be a rock star. And you go...
I think you're going to have a little trouble breaking that over the amplifier.
Yeah, you can't just like throw it on the ground.
If you smashed it, it wouldn't have the same effect.
But as we said earlier, collecting kazoos is just part of Stephen's story. The other part really hits home.
A plastic kazoo, right? So you're thinking made offshore.
Nope, right here in the USA.
Oh, factory this way.
Just behind the museum is Kazoobie's factory, where visitors can watch kazoos being made to the tune of nearly 5,000 a day.
They are shipped across the globe.
We ship kazoos to 26 different countries, and what's exciting for American manufacturers, especially small ones like us, is that there is a big demand for American-made products all over the world.
A visit to the museum or factory will do more than just brighten your day.
It'll almost surely end it on the right note.
He's a professional.
You are a natural.
He's a kazoo savant.
Welcome back to Small Town Big Deal.
Thank you. You gave me an Entertainment Tonight serenade on your Made in the USA kazoo.
I don't know how good it was, but I tried.
I've never heard it on a kazoo before, I must admit.
And what was your favorite thing about cherries? And you can't say cherry pie, because I know you love
Cherry pie eating contest.
Oh, no. You know, it was a lot harder to eat that cherry pie with no hands than I thought it was going to be.
And I loved you doing the tree shaker.
Well, should come.
Oh, I dare you to do that again.
I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Small Town Big Deal.
I'm Jan Carl.
I'm Rodney Miller. Join us again next week when once again we celebrate the great stories from across America.
You embarrassed yourself, didn't you?
Working with 9 women, I'm not sure if I'm envious or feeling empathy.
I'm sorry. I travel with all guys on the show all the time. Are you proud of me?
Are you going to share?
Well, I know how much you love these, and I wasn't going to get one bite.
So I'll go get the cherry pie and hoard that up so you can't get any of that.
All right.
Hey, I know her weak spots.